Hi everyone, Gemma here. Thank you for watching today. In this video, I'll be sharing an unboxing and project share of the Papercraft Society Box 37. This box has been designed by the wonderful Sam Calcott of Made to Surprise, and I've been lucky enough to provide some of the inspiration for this box. So, should we get into it? I'm excited! So just looking at the outside of the box, we've got some lovely characters here on the front, some gold foiling and some Christmas lights. Inside, we've got a little message from Sam, a skiing penguin, parachuting snowman and a Santa flying his plane. You heard me right. This is a funny box of treats. Enjoy, Sam. So we have this lovely hot pink envelope with all the Christmas lights on the front. I really like that. So then inside we have these 3 pouches. So I'll just show you the dies and stamp sets. Hopefully you can see that okay. Now I believe the concept for this collection is spinner cards. So Sam has created some symmetrical images so that they can be easily used for that purpose. So we've got some lovely characters here. We've got the parachuting snowman, the reindeer with baubles on his antlers, and this one has to be my favourite, the skiing snowman, which I'm going to be using on my card today. And then you've got the coordinating dies for some of the characters. So you've got the flying Santa, the reindeer and the skiing snowman. Then we have this circle die to cut an aperture into your cards. Then this frame die, and it's supposed to give the effect of the tangled lights. And then you have the light die there, some decorations for the tree and Merry Christmas die with a shadow outline die, and then a crown for your baubles. So that's the stamps and die set. There are 2 stencils included in this kit, the tangled Christmas lights and the small, medium and large bauble. Sam has created a lovely video using silhouette stamps and a bauble stencil, and I'll link that in the description box below. So then we've also got pattern paper. So we have this bright colourful snowman and Father Christmas with different sentiments on the front: hope, joy, ho ho ho, jingle bells, 'tis the season. Really nice one there. Then this very bright and colourful striped paper, which is very in keeping with Sam's style. Then we have the flying Father Christmas, parachuting snowman and the skiing penguin, and some blue and white snowflakes in the background there. Then the Christmas lights. This is a really nice one. And then you've also got some toppers and sentiments. So these just easily pop out. So if you don't like colouring on your cards, then these are really great for that. And then you've got, well, hey, it's Christmas time. There's no one like you. I'm back. So some really lovely characters there. So as well as the envelope of goodies, we also have some additional items in the tissue paper. So just have a look at those. So I like to keep my tissue paper, I fold it back up and then I keep it for any gift wrapping that I might have. So we have the coordinating cardstock. You have a lovely red, orange, yellow, green, blue, hot pink, baby pink and black. There's some really nice colours there, and it coordinates well with the pattern paper. Then we have 2 pieces of glitter cardstock. This is a non-shed glitter cardstock, and it's really nice, good quality. Then we have some envelopes. So by the sound of that, some sequins in here. Oh, I always struggle to open these. There we go. We've got some nice brightly coloured sequins, and they're flat sequins, so they're really nice for your shakers and embellishments on your card. It doesn't add any bulk. Then in this envelope there are some wooden pegs. They're a really nice size for your cards. Now you can colour these using your alcohol markers, or you can use your embossing powder to change the colour of those. And then in this envelope, can you see that? It's some string for your spinners. Then lastly, we have this book of inspiration. Have the lovely Sam on the front there, and inside the book you'll find information about the box, its contents, how they can be used, and then ideas and tips on how to use the collection. So I'm just going to jump to a project that caught my eye. So this has been made by Sarah Jackman Reid. I thought it was a nice, bright and colourful fun card, using the skiing snowman and Merry Christmas on the front there. And I really like how she's used the pattern paper to provide extra interest here behind the aperture. I'll just hold it up a little bit closer for you to see. So this is some of the inspiration that I've provided. So my focus was stencils and stamps. So I made this circle shaped card with the bauble on the front. Then I made this fun fold 5x7 card with a pop out panel at the front there and the skiing snowman. And then this 6x6 card, creating your own pattern paper. So now that I've gone through the contents of the box, I'm going to show you how to make a 6x6 easel spinner card. So I'm just going to go through the products I plan on using today. So out of the box, I plan to use the skiing penguin, stamp and die, and the Merry Christmas die. I've downloaded the additional papers and printed those off. And I'm also going to use Card Making Magic Simply Dots embossing folder and this aperture die and the border die from Super Sliders collection from Made to Surprise, and this is the 6x6 Super Sliders. So I have a piece of pink cardstock that measures 6 by 12, and along the 12-inch side I'm going to score it 6. I then have another piece of pink cardstock that measures 6 by 6.5, and along the 6.5 side I'm going to score it 6. Then for the mats and layers, I've cut 3 pieces of white cardstock to 5 3/4 squared. Then 2 pieces of pattern paper to 5 1/2 squared. Then a piece of hot pink to 5 1/2 squared, and I've embossed it using the embossing folder. Then I've also die cut a frame in white cardstock and the Merry Christmas die in pink cardstock and the shadow die in white cardstock. Then I've stamped 2 penguins using Memento Tuxedo black ink, and the reason for this is alcohol friendly, so I'm going to be using my Copic markers to colour those in. So I've got my 2 pieces of pink cardstock. I'm going to fold and burnish the score lines. I'm going to take a wedge off this 1/2 inch tab here. So just taking a little bit off each side. And I'll be attaching these 2 pieces together to create the easel card. So on the front of my card, I'll have the mats and layers here. I'll also be going on the bottom of my card. Then my pink piece and white piece will go inside the card. But before I start assembling and gluing the mats and layers down, I'm just going to cut an aperture into the front of my card. Now I've got 2 pieces of 300 GSM here, so I'm going to have to die cut those separately because I don't think my die cutting machine will go through all 3 pieces of cardstock. I've glued my mat and layer together. I'm going to place on the front of the card here. Line up my circle die to cut the aperture. So I'm going to do inside the circle because I'll be throwing that piece away. So if I get any adhesive or anything on the pattern paper, it won't affect the rest of my card. So I'm just going to run that through my die cutting machine. So I had to run it through once or twice, but that's die cut fine now. So to line it up on the front of the card, I'm going to use the mats and layers, slot the die in the center of them, tack it in place again, and run it through my die cutting machine. And there we go, that's come away quite easily. Just a little bit holding on there. I'm just going to use my scissors to help the fibres along. And because it's gone through my die cutting machine, I'm just going to reinforce the score line again. So now that I've prepared my aperture, I'm going to start by gluing the bottom of the card to this panel here. So I've got my 1/2 inch tab here. I'm going to add quick grab glue and glue it to the back of the card. I'm then going to glue my mats and layers in the front here and on the base here. Now I'm leaving the front panel ready for when I do the spinner element, because I want to hide the wire behind the mats and layers in the frame. So I'll just get that stuck down. So I've set aside my card base to dry. Next, I'm going to colour my penguins for the spinner using my Copic markers. So now that I have my penguin prepared, I'm going to work on the last element of the card, which is the spinner. So the first thing I'm going to do is add double-sided tape on the back of here so that I can sandwich the fishing wire, hopefully you can see it, between both images. So there we go, we have our spinning element. So next I'm going to attach it to my card. So I've added double-sided tapes to the bottom and the top and bottom of the circle. I'm going to remove, actually I'm going to keep that one on there for a minute. So I've removed the backing tape from the top. Place it in the center of the circle, and I'm going to add some hot glue over the top of it to make sure it doesn't move. So now I'm going to do the same for the bottom. So I'm going to pull the line really tight, hold it down in place, and add hot glue to the top of it. So I've trimmed off the wire at each end. I'm going to give it some time to let that glue really set so it's nice and hard, so we don't have any movement. And while that's setting, I'm just going to attach my panel on the front here. Now, to compensate for the hot glue, I'm going to add some foam tape on the front with some collage glue as well, so that I've got some wiggle room, and then I can get it to line up with a circle exactly. So I've added the front panel to my card. Just going to wind that up so you can see it spin. Because it's an easel card, it's quite hard for me to show it fully on camera. The final step then is to add our stopper. So you could have this quite sort of far back, but I think you need to allow some room to let it spin. So I'm going to do it to about there, and I'm going to add some foam tape to the Merry Christmas. So there's the final card. As you can see, it all falls flat. I've added some snowflakes and stars for extra embellishment, and then as you open the card, it spins like so, and then you stand it up there. So thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.